Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent, your narrator for tonight. Settle in and let the day's worries wash away like a gentle tide as we journey together into a world painted with moonlight and whispers of dreams. Our tale, Foxglove and the Moonlit Sand Garden, unfolds under a canopy of stars against a tapestry woven with gentle breezes and the softest shadows. Tonight, we accompany a thoughtful craftsman named Haruto, who dedicates his evenings to tending a mystical garden of sand. Through the meticulous raking and careful sculpting of patterns, he unlocks ancient secrets whispered by the night itself. Amidst his tranquil labor, a curious little fox with a gleaming coat like silver and eyes alight with mystery finds its way into Haruto's heart, guiding him on a path he never anticipated. Before we dive into this enchanting story, let me pose a question that resonates with tonight's themes. When life becomes a whirlwind of activity, where do you retreat to find your own moments of stillness and reflection? Perhaps it's a gentle walk through a quiet park, or a cozy nook by a window where the world seems to pause. Please feel free to share your thoughts and practices with our community. If you're new here, welcome to a sanctuary of stories crafted to help you find solace and tranquility. Consider subscribing so that you never miss these gentle tales designed to accompany you into restful sleep. Now, let's prepare for the journey. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and take a long, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for a heartbeat and slowly exhale through your mouth. Imagine each breath cleansing restless thoughts from your mind, leaving you lighter and more at peace with each cycle. Inhale deeply, hold, and release, feeling the tension melt away. As your breathing finds its natural rhythm, envision a night sky blanketing a serene landscape, where a soft glow from the moon overshadows all else. You are ready now, your pulse gentle as a distant roll of thunder long gone. With your mind's eye, we turn to a place where sand becomes the canvas of dreams and moonlight dances in divine symmetry. Let us step into the tranquil world of Haruto and his unexpected companion. The story of Foxglove and the Moonlit Sand Garden awaits to unfold its gentle mysteries and whispered wonders. Once there was a quiet village named Oxenbrook, nestled between gentle rolling hills and shaded by ancient trees. It was a place where the mornings unfurled gradually, and the air carried a delicate whisper of secrets carried by the wind. In this village lived a girl named Elira, whose heart was filled with a curious longing for quiet adventures and gentle mysteries. Elira's hair was the color of spun honey, and her eyes sparkled with wonder every time she looked at the sky or the earth. On a soft summer evening, as the sun dipped behind the horizon and painted the world with hues of amber and rose, Elira wandered beyond her small cottage. Her bare feet touched the cool, dewy grass as she strolled through the winding paths of Oxenbrook, her gaze drifting upward to the glowing orb of the moon. The moon was full that night, casting a silver glow that transformed the familiar landscape into a dreamlike realm. Shadows danced softly, and everything seemed to breathe in the quiet serenity. Elira's gaze settled on the edge of the village, where an ancient stone arch marked the entrance to a hidden garden, long forgotten by most. The stones were moss-covered and worn smooth by centuries of quiet passage. It had always intrigued her, this mysterious gate sitting quietly at the border of her world. She stepped closer, brushing her fingers along the cool, weathered stones, sensing an unspoken invitation to enter. There was a gentle flutter in her chest as she pushed open the old gate, which creaked softly, almost like it was sighing in relief after sleeping for many years. Beyond the arch was a garden, unlike any she had ever seen, bathed in moonlight. It was a sand garden with delicate raked patterns that shimmered even under the night sky. Surrounding it were flower beds filled with blooms of deep violet and midnight blue, their petals velvety and luminous. Somewhere in the distance, a faraway owl hooted softly, adding a soothing melody to the silent night. Elira stepped inside. Her footsteps whispered against the cool sand. She felt a strange calm settle over her, the kind of calm that comes from quiet wonder, the kind that gently cradles the soul like a lullaby. The sands beneath her fingertips seemed to mirror the stars overhead, sparkling with tiny grains that shimmered softly in the moon's light. Each grain of sand gleamed as if holding a secret from a distant universe. She paused for a moment at the center of the garden, gazing at the patterns etched into the sand. They were no ordinary arrangements. They spiraled and wove, as if telling a story only the moon could understand. Elira's eyes grew wide with fascination. She had stumbled upon a place that felt both ancient and alive, where magic slept beneath the surface of every grain of sand. A gentle breeze brushed her cheek, carrying perfume of jasmine and something else, something familiar yet elusive. As she knelt down to trace the intricate lines with her finger, Elira sensed a presence, a whisper of something tender, perhaps a guardian of the garden, or even the moon itself, gently watching her. Her heart thrummed softly with wonder, for she knew that this night would change her in subtle, quiet ways. A secret garden, crowned in moonlight, beckoned her to listen, to dream, to belong to the peaceful realm of night. And so she stayed, weaving herself into the quiet symphony of the sands and shadows, feeling the calm settle in her bones, ready for the stories that the moon would tell her. The next evening, Elira returned to the Moonlit Sand Garden, drawn by an invisible thread of anticipation woven through her dreams. The garden welcomed her again with open silence, each grain of sand shimmering softly in the silver glow. She moved gently, treading softly on the cool surface, as if afraid that her footsteps might disturb the delicate harmony woven into the landscape. This time, she noticed something new, faint patterns traced into the sand, faint as the whisper of a forgotten song. They looked like tiny footprints, tiny spirals, and crescent moons, all embedded in the raked swirls. Elira's fingertips brushed those markings with delicate reverence. How curious, she thought. Were these footprints of some unseen creature? Or perhaps a sign left by a guardian that had watched over this place long ago? As she lingered, she saw the shadows around her shift. The moon's light cast elongated shapes that stretched and danced across the sand, transforming the garden into a silent theater of flickering figures. Elira felt the shadows tingling with gentle life. Somewhere nearby, a pebble caught the light, casting a shadow that looked like a tiny fox, its tail curling in a gentle arch. Elira smiled, enchanted by the play of light and dark. A soft breeze stirred the flowers, causing their velvety petals to flutter like whispers. The scent of jasmine grew stronger, mingled with the fresh, earthy aroma of the damp soil. Her senses filled with these gentle gifts from nature, creating a symphony of calm that seemed to echo deep within her spirit. Gently, she lowered herself to sit on her heels, cozy amid the cool sand and the luminous blooms. In the quiet, she could hear the faintest hum, a lullaby carried by the night wind, a song perhaps woven into the fabric of this secret garden. Elira closed her eyes briefly, letting the melody settle softly over her like a warm blanket. Moments stretched into timeless comfort as she took in the serenity, the gentle awakening of her soul beneath the watchful gaze of the moon. Suddenly, a tiny flicker caught her eye, something moving at the edge of her vision. Turning slightly, she saw a figure emerge from the shadows, small, quick, and lithe. It was a foxglove flower, standing tall among the blue and violet petals, its trumpet-shaped bloom glowing faintly in the moon's tender light. Its leaves shimmered with a silvery sheen, like a ribbon of moonbeams. Elira reached out gently toward the foxglove, her fingertips barely brushing the velvety petals. The flower seemed to respond, opening slightly as if welcoming her touch. It was then she understood. This garden was alive with gentle magic, a place where nature and dreams intertwined. And she was a part of it now, a quiet visitor in this sacred space. Every detail, the way the sand was raked, the shimmer of the petals, the whispering shadows, felt like a secret sleep ritual wrapped in the embrace of night. She stayed a little longer, breathing in the calm. For a moment, Elira knew she belonged here, in this timeless, moonlit haven, where the world softened and the heart could find its quiet place of peace. She listened to the whispering winds, the flickering shadows, and the soft murmur of flowers, and she let herself drift gently into the quiet lullaby of the night. As evening melted into midnight, the moon reached the highest point in the sky, pouring her luminous light in gentle, silvery waves over the sand garden. Elira sat cross-legged amid the cool sands, feeling the tiniest grains sift through her fingers like liquid starlight. Every breath she took was filled with the scent of night-blooming jasmine, the earth's whisper, and the faint, sweet perfume of distant flowers. The garden hummed with a soft, almost inaudible song, an ancient melody carried on the wind, intertwined with the twinkling of distant stars. Elira's eyes lifted toward the heavens, where countless stars twinkled like tiny lanterns beckoning from far-off worlds. The constellations mapped stories in the sky, stories of foxes and dreams, of moonbeams and bellflowers, and Elira felt a gentle tug at her heart, filling her with peaceful wonder. At the edge of her vision, she saw a slight flicker, a quick movement, like a flash of moonlight reflected from a tiny secret creature. Rotating her gaze, she spotted a delicate fox, its fur shimmering silver in the glow of the moon. The creature moved gracefully, each step almost soundless, as if dancing on the breeze. Its eyes were bright and intelligent, wise with silent knowing. The fox came close to her, stopping at the perimeter of the garden. Elira remained perfectly still, her breath still, and her heart quiet. Her gaze met the creature's, and in that silent exchange, she felt a gentle communication, a shared understanding that this garden was a place of peace, a sanctuary for the quiet magic of the natural world. The fox's presence was a gift, a reminder that beauty and calm could be found even in the smallest of creatures, in a single breath of night. Slowly, the fox vibrated its tail once, a gentle signal, before turning and disappearing into the shadows like a whisper. Elira watched the fleeting form vanish into the dark, feeling a tender warmth within her. The stars sparkled brighter now, as if applauding the quiet harmony of the moment. She leaned back onto her hands, gazing upward again. The sky was a tapestry of shimmering moments, each star whispering a lullaby of eternity. It was as if the universe had fallen silent just to listen, just for her. And the sand garden, moonlit and still, was a sacred sanctuary where the soul could rest in peace. Elira closed her eyes briefly, allowing herself to be wrapped in that silent song, her heart swelling with calm and gratitude. In that stillness, in the gentle glow of moon and star, she found herself slowly drifting, carried by the timeless lullaby that whispered through the night, lulling her toward gentle sleep, wrapped in the quiet embrace of the moonlit sand garden. Elira awoke with the first light of dawn spilling into the sky, a soft blush of pink and gold touching the edges of the world. She sat up slowly, feeling the warmth of the sun's gentle touch seep into her skin, each ray a tender caress after the cool night's hush. Her heart was calm, and a quiet smile played on her lips, knowing she had spent a peaceful night in the garden's quiet embrace. The sand was still smooth beneath her, returning to its tranquil patterns, untouched since her departure. Flowers around her nodded softly in the morning breeze, their velvety petals catching the tender light like tiny luminous whispers. Elira reached out to trace the delicate raked lines, patterns that seemed to shimmer with a new softness, renewed by the dawn's calm energy. The garden was awakening in a different way now. The shadows grew shorter and softer, stretching gently across the sand as the sun's warm glow spread outward. A faint hum of bees and the distant song of robins stirred the peaceful air, blending seamlessly into the quiet melody of morning. Elira's bare feet sank lightly into the cool sand, grounding her in the present moment. She took a deep breath, filling her lungs with the sweet, clean scent of morning air, perfumed with dew, jasmine, and earth. Each inhalation calmed her further, soothing her thoughts and softening her worries to nothingness. As she moved gracefully, handfuls of the warm, soft sand slipped like liquid gold through her fingers, reminding her that every moment was a fleeting gift, beautiful, delicate, and meant to be treasured. Nearby, the foxglove flowers stood tall and regal, their bell-shaped blooms now bathed in golden hues, their velvety surfaces glowing softly under the sun's gentle gaze. Elira felt a tender connection to these silent guardians of the garden, each one a symbol of quiet strength and peaceful grace. She reached out and gently touched one bloom, feeling its velvety surface, a small miracle of nature's gentle artistry. The whole garden seemed to exhale with ease, releasing a silent prayer to the waking world. Elira understood that the magic of this place wasn't just in moonlight or starshine, but in the stillness that nestled within her heart, a calm that bloomed anew with each passing dawn. She settled down onto her knees, watching as the sunlight danced across the grains of the sand, each one shining softly like a tiny transient star. As the morning unfolded, Elira felt herself filling with a quiet certainty. This garden was a sacred sanctuary, a space where her soul could rest and grow strong in serene stillness. The gentle breezes played upon her face, singing silent lullabies that carried her deeper into a calm that would stay with her long after she left the garden behind. And with one last breath of the fresh morning air, she knew she carried this peaceful magic inside her, forever entwined with the softest shadows and the warm glow of dawn. As the sun climbed higher, Elira continued her gentle exploration of the sand garden. Her footsteps left faint imprints in the soft sands, delicate as a butterfly's wing, each one a tiny reminder of her presence in this sacred space. She gazed around, noticing a narrow path leading toward a quiet corner of the garden, an invitation crafted by the quiet hand of nature herself. It was edged with moss and lined with tiny pebbles, forming a gentle trail that beckoned her forward. Elira stepped onto the path, feeling the coolness of moss beneath her soles. With each step, the sand seemed to shift and sparkle more brightly, as if awakening from a long sleep. Shadows from the surrounding flowers and plants danced softly upon the ground, flickering like delicate lanterns guiding her journey. The air grew tinged with the faintest shimmer of light, as if the garden was woven with strands of pure illumination. Along the trail, tiny lanterns made of paper and silk hung from slender branches, strange yet beautiful, glowing with an otherworldly gentle radiance. These delicate lights flickered softly, casting comforting pools of glow that opened a gentle doorway into a hidden space. Elira paused beneath one of these lanterns, gazing into its warm, golden hue. It reminded her of a peaceful moment, a quiet whisper of hope and tranquility wrapped in shimmering beauty. The path curved toward a small clearing enclosed by whispering willows whose leaves created a gentle curtain of shade. In the center stood a little stone basin filled with still, clear water. It reflected the soft light of the lanterns and the moon's faint shimmer, creating a mirror of serenity. Elira knelt beside it and gazed at her own reflection, her peaceful face, eyes bright with wonder, framed by hair that caught the soft glow of dawn. As she lingered by the water's edge, she noticed tiny ripples spreading outward, like gentle whispers spreading across a serene lake. The ripples expanded, shimmered, and then disappeared, leaving only the calm mirror of stillness. It was a reminder, she thought, that even the smallest disturbances can create new patterns, new moments of peace, if we simply pause and breathe. The deeper quiet of this hidden corner made her feel like she had discovered a secret treasure, something more than a garden of sand and flowers. It was a sacred space woven with light and silence, a place where dreams could collect like dew on the petals at dawn. Elira reached into her pocket and found a smooth, rounded pebble, a tiny gift from the garden. She held it gently, feeling its cool surface and knowing that this moment, like the pebble, was precious and fleeting. She sat back on her heels, letting herself absorb the gentle energy of this quiet retreat. The whispering willows seemed to murmur softly, sharing stories only they understood. Elira listened silently, feeling her heart harmonize with the peaceful rhythm of her surroundings. She knew that every journey, every discovery in this sacred garden was part of her own quiet awakening, a gentle unfolding of calm, patience, and hope. And in that moment, she felt a deep, comforting warmth settle within, a reassurance that no matter where life's winding path may lead, she could always return to this tranquil sanctuary, where the whispering light and silent shadows would forever hold her safe. As the days unfolded in their slow, luminous rhythm, Elira found herself drawn back repeatedly to the Moonlit Sand Garden. Each visit freshly delighted her senses, and with each return, she discovered something tender, an extra shimmer on a petal, a new pattern in the sand, or a gentle whisper from the breeze. The garden had become a secret haven, a gentle anchor amid the ebb and flow of her days. One afternoon, Elira wandered slightly beyond the garden's boundary, curious about what lay beyond the shadows of the willows. The terrain outside was softer, wildflower strewn, and kissed by golden grasses swaying in the breeze. She moved cautiously, her gaze fixed on the horizon, where a faint outline of distant hills shimmered under a veil of mist. The air was filled with the scent of honeysuckle and the distant hum of bees busy at work, nature's gentle lullaby. The further she walked, the more she sensed the quiet pulse of the earth beneath her feet. Flowers with clustering blossoms of pink and white nodded at her as if greeting an old friend. Elira reached out gently and brushed a bloom of foxglove, feeling the velvety surface under her fingertips. The flower seemed to glow softly, as if sharing a secret that had been passed down through ages. As she ventured deeper, she discovered a little stream trickling through a patch of moss-covered stones. Its waters were crystal clear, singing a soothing, rippling song that seemed to harmonize with the breeze and the distant call of the nightingale. Elira knelt beside it, cupping her hands and splashing a few cool droplets onto her face. The water was refreshingly pure, filling her with renewed calm and gentle vitality. She watched as tiny fish darted through the stream, their sleek bodies flashing like silver flashes of moonlight. The moment was hushed and still, save for the gentle lapping of water and the melody of life growing quietly in its rhythm. Elira closed her eyes for a moment, breathing in the cool, damp scent, letting the peace seep into her very bones. The sky above was turning a soft shade of pink, touched by the fading light of the setting sun. Elira felt a tender warmth in her chest, like the embrace of a beloved story that had nestled itself into her heart. She understood that this journey, to explore beyond her familiar world, was part of her own quiet blooming, just like the flowers along her path. Each step taken, each discovery made, was unfolding her inner peace. With her heart gentle and her spirit soothed, Elira headed back toward the garden. Her mind was filled with new images, the shimmering stream, the whispering trees, and the promise of even more gentle adventures awaiting her. She knew that the magic of the garden wasn't just found within its sand and flowers, but also in her own newfound patience, in the slow and steady journey of discovery that lay ahead. As stars began to sprinkle the twilight sky, Elira's steps slowed, and she turned once more toward the moonlit sand garden. Her soul felt lighter, her heart calmer, ready to rest again, wrapped in the peaceful glow of the moon and the promise of tomorrow's quiet joys. And with that gentle thought, she surrendered to the world's tender sleep, carried by the soft current of everlasting calm. Night deepened once more, and the sand garden hummed with a quiet, living magic that Elira felt pulsing in tune with her breath. She returned to her favorite spot, settling down on her knees, the velvet petals of the foxglove brushing softly against her fingertips. The moon cast a luminous glow that turned everything into shimmering silver, making her feel like she was walking through a dream of light and shadow. This night, she noticed that the patterns in the sand seemed softer, more fluid, like a gentle river of dreams flowing through her fingertips. She traced the swirling lines with slow, careful movements, each loop and spiral holding a story that only the moon could read. There was a whisper in the air, so faint that only her heart could hear it, like the ancient secrets woven into every grain of sand. As her eyes drifted around the garden, Elira saw tiny flickers, perhaps fireflies, or simply moments of pure moonlight captured in the air. They danced quietly, weaving glowing threads across the dark canvas of night. She reached toward one, her fingers hovering between the shadows and the shimmer. The flicker pulsed softly, then zipped away, a fleeting spark of magic. Elira chuckled softly, sensing that even the smallest moments in this sacred space were alive with silent wonder. The flowers, bathed in gentle moonbeams, seemed to pulse with a life of their own, each petal a shining fragment of a hidden story, each leaf a whisper of ancient lullabies. Lyra closed her eyes briefly, letting her senses soften. She felt the cool air on her skin, the faint scent of jasmine and dew, the gentle rustling of leaves in the night. Close by, she noticed a lone foxglove bloom trembling slightly, as if sharing a secret more delicate than words. Its bell-shaped flower stood tall and proud, yet calm, like a guardian watching over her restful mood. Elira reached out and bowed her head toward it, whispering a silent thank you for its gentle presence. She knew this garden was a sacred meeting place, a bridge between the seen and unseen, the waking world and the realm of dreams. The soft sands beneath her hands felt familiar, timeless. They cradled her like a lullaby passed down through ages. Elira let her fingertips trace the patterns once more, feeling the smooth silk of moonbeams woven into every groove. The serenity was complete, a gentle lull commanding her to rest. In her heart, she understood that this garden was a place of quiet potential, a space where magic could bloom silently in the heart's stillness. Slowly, her breath grew even. Her eyelids fluttered as she sank into a peaceful pause. The garden's silent song, woven from shadow and starlight, cradled her in its calming embrace. She let go of all worries, surrendering gently to the night's lullaby. Each whisper, each shimmer, was a promise of gentle tomorrow and sweet peace in the present. Elira's mind drifted like a cloud across the moonlit sky, floating softly into a night of deep, restorative sleep, wrapped in the timeless comfort of the Moonlit Sand Garden. Dawn approached slowly again, bringing with it a peaceful palette of pink and gold that seeped across the sky. Elira awoke once more to the gentle caress of sunlight, feeling the garden's magic lingering in her heart like a delicate echo. Still seated where she had rested last night, her eyes fluttered open to find the sands shimmering with early morning dew. The flower beds around her awakened with a whisper of movement. Petals of violet and blue unfurled like silent songs, glowing softly under the awakening sun. The scent of jasmine grew stronger, fragrant and delicate, a gentle reminder of the continuity of calm. Elira reached out in slow, deliberate motions, her fingertips brushing the velvet petals once again, feeling the coolness and softness as if greeting an old friend. Sunlight streamed through wispy clouds, casting dappled patterns across the sands. Shadows cast by flowers and gentle grasses stretched long and languid, blending into the tranquil scene like soft brushstrokes on a delicate canvas. Elira watched the shifting light, feeling the gentle pulse of life awakening around her. Every moment was filled with quiet promise, an invitation to breathe deeply, and hold on to the calm she was cultivating. She observed the foxglove blooms, now glowing with a tender golden hue, as if holding the very glow of morning within their velvety cups. Their silent grace connected her to the enduring peace of nature, steady and unhurried, just like her own breath. Elira reached out again, slowly, to touch one bloom, and it responded with a subtle quiver, a soft vibration that seemed to share a private secret of dawn's gentle magic. The sun rose higher now, painting everything in a warm, honeyed light. Elira closed her eyes briefly, listening to the subtle hum of the waking world, the distant cry of a morning robin, the rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze. Every sound, every scent, every sensation wove together in a tapestry of serenity. She knew that this space had become more than a garden of sand and flowers. It was a sanctuary of stillness inside her, a wellspring of peace that she could return to whenever she needed quiet strength. Feeling gratified and profoundly calm, Elira stood slowly, leaving behind the patterns in the sand, each one a quiet story etched in time. She looked once more at the shimmering blooms and then toward the horizon, where the hills stretched softly into the distance. With the dawn's light washing over her, she carried the peaceful magic of the garden within her heart, ready to face the day's gentle unfolding with patience and grace. And as she turned to leave, Elira's soul whispered softly that she was forever connected with the calm, the quiet, and the luminous light of the Moonlit Sand Garden. As days passed, Elira's visits to the Moonlit Garden became a cherished part of her life, her secret haven of serenity in Oxenbrook. Each journey into its sandy heart and luminous flowers deepened her sense of calm and connectedness. The garden's silent magic seeped into every part of her days, whispering quiet reassurance during moments of doubt or worry. One evening, Elira brought a small handmade lantern, its paper smooth and its handle softly worn, crafted with care and love. She placed it gently in the center of the garden, beside the raked patterns and blooming foxgloves. The lantern's soft glow seemed to match the moon's gentle light, creating a tender circle of warmth amidst the cool sands and shadows. Sitting nearby, she watched the tiny flickers of moonlight dance within the lantern's glow, feeling the peace of the garden settle around her like a cozy blanket. She realized that her connection to this sacred place had grown stronger, its calm becoming an integral part of her spirit. Every visit, each silent discovery, had woven a thread of quiet resilience into her soul. The garden's magic was now a whispering voice inside her, reminding her to be gentle with herself, to cherish unhurried moments of stillness, and to accept the slow unfolding of her own dreams. The moon, the stars, the flowers, all had become allies in her quiet journey of inner peace. In the stillness of her heart, Elira now knew that the greatest magic of all was not in grand adventures, but in these tiny, tender moments of pause and reflection. The calm she found here could be carried with her wherever she went, an endless well of serenity, softly glowing within her like the lantern's gentle flame. As she rose to leave the garden that night, Elira felt a smile of deep contentment. She looked back one last time at the glowing foxglove blooms and the shimmering sands, whispering a silent thank you. Then, with a peaceful breath, she stepped back into her world, knowing that the quiet magic of the Moonlit Sand Garden would always be part of her, ready to comfort and guide her through every gentle night and new dawn. Night returned once more, and Elira found herself lying peacefully on a soft bed of moss, the memory of the garden's magic settling deep within her. The moon hung high, a watchful guardian, illuminating her dreams with a tender glow. Outside her window, the cool night air whispered through the leaves, carrying the faint echoes of the garden, its quiet song woven into the fabric of her sleep. In her mind's eye, Elira saw the sand garden once more, its shimmering grains, the gentle patterns, and the luminous blooms. Her heart sank into the serene rhythm of nature's lullaby, each breath aligning with the slow pulse of the universe. The whispering wind, the distant call of night creatures, and the soft flicker of stars all wove together into a symphony of calm that soothed her very soul. Her eyelids fluttered closed as she surrendered to the gentle pull of restful sleep, carried by the silent magic of the moonlit sands. In dreams, she wandered through endless fields of flowers under a canopy of stars, her spirit restful and content. The garden's peaceful magic stayed with her, a quiet light glowing softly at the center of her heart. And so, as the night deepened, Elira drifted further into peaceful slumber, cradled by the timeless lullabies of shadows, stars, and moonbeams. A gentle journey into the purest rest, wrapped in the eternal comfort of her sacred moonlit garden.